Hey guys, what's up? How ya doing? I'm here to give you guys a recap on the new episode of World Trigger, which is on Season 3 on Episode 1, or you can call it Episode 86, or the total number of episodes, Anyways, this episode right here was actually really nice, and, it's been a long time, Although it's only been a few months, that much is considered, and that much to remember, but it just feels like it's been a long time since I've seen this show, because I don't know why. Maybe because I enjoyed it, or I loved it very much that I missed it so much or something like that, but whatever the case may be, yeah, let's just get this started. Let's just get this started, We have to it that Hyusei brings in the news that he's already B rank, and I thought it was really nice and cute to know that everyone celebrates saying, "Hey, good job, man! You did a very phenomenal work out there," And then we have to it eventually. We get to see Hyusei in his new in his new outfit, but he also makes clarification to Osamu like, "I'm not going to be following your directions or orders from here on out, okay? I'm going to do what I can to help you guys to get to the away team, but I'm not going to be following your orders unless it's really necessary, because I don't want to have to die or lose because you messed up on those directions. So I'm going to follow my way of my own instinct, and you do your way, okay? That much is considered." The way how Hyusei was just telling Osamu, and I'm sorry to make it complicated, is that I do me, you do you. I don't want to have to mess up by following your orders all the time, and I will only follow it unless it really is necessary. Not to mention, I'm not your friend. We only have one goal in mind, and I have mine. That's it. Even so, we have to it that we get to be introduced to a couple new characters, which they are called Yuri and Michael, And we have to it that we see Yuri and Michael show up, and Reiji, I think that's the guy's name. Oh my gosh, I think it's been so long since I even remember that guy's name. I think his name's Reiji, right? Yeah, I think so. Forgive me if I do not remember it correctly or something, because all I know is he's part of Tamaoka's. All I know is he is part of the Tamaoka's second branch whatsoever, and whatchamacallit, it looks like to me he has a crush on her. Yeah, Kizaki Reiji. He pretty much has a crush on her, or he has feelings for her, the way I look at it, that kind of thing. And eventually, whatever the time may be, he's always making sure people is in right, proper attire, they're not sloppy or something. And we get to see Yuri is about 24 years old, while Michael, he's a Cronin engineer from Canada or something, which is really funny here and there. And there's a funny scene with Yotaro saying, "Oh, hey, Yuri, this is going to be my new wife," which he points at Chika, and Yuri's like, "Huh? I thought I was going to be your new wife." And Yotaro's like, "You're going to be my first. She's going to be my second." I'm thinking about my gosh, I love you, Yotaro, but dang, you got to be careful, man, because Reiji's like, "Hey, you shouldn't be so damn greedy, you little kid," that kind of thing, and etc. Then we get to know the next match that Osamu and the others will be taking on will be Kagura's squad, Azuma squad, and Suzunari's squad. Which apparently the two opponents, Kagura, the Kagura captain or something, he is pretty much gonna be. It's pretty much a rematch with our boy Yuma and Kagura. As for Murakami, I'm pretty sure that guy wants revenge too, because if you guys remember, if you guys ever watched World Trigger, you would know that Murakami lost to Yuma thanks to Yuma doing one last trick, launching him in the air, and then later on he falls into the water, I believe, and then later on Kuga Yuma takes advantage of that and slices him up, that kind of thing, etc. So I thought it was really nice. And cool, in a certain way, to see that we get to see that other squad too, because pretty much those two squads that Osamu's team lost to is pretty much a rematch. It's like saying, okay, we're coming back at you. But that goes with Murakami as well, because Murakami is part of the squad that Osamu managed to beat with Kuga Yuma's help, that kind of thing. Then we get to see where the heck is the other squads are at, Like for example, Ninomiya squad, which apparently that Osamu did take on and they lost greatly against, is in first place. While Kagura squad is in second, Ikoma is in third, while Tamaoka is in second, that kind of thing. But we also get to see to it that eventually down the line that that Osamu is going to move into Tamaoka's branch or something, and it's all thanks to everything being okay for the time being, you know. They, although like our senpai Konami, I believe that's her name, right? Konami. It's been a very, like I said, it's been so damn freaking long that I don't remember the characters' names, you know. Forgive me on that. But all I know is she is concerned about Osamu and Kugayuma, you know, because like she's like, don't you guys have like don't you, yeah, Konami. Don't you guys have school? What about everything else? And Osamu's like, oh, we're done with school. And as for me and Osamu, we got into Mikaido first thanks to Border's recommendation. I think in my mind, wow, to think that if Japan really works that way, if you got recommendations to go to a certain school, I guess they will just get you in there. But whatever the case may be, we go to a scene with like Hyusei trying to pick out his other triggers, you know. We get to see to it that Hyusei wants to get Escudo, and then along with like Viper bullets, you know, and we get to see his completed trigger. Although he could add in one more, he decides to put in like nothing for now. So pretty much like Hyusei's new triggers in his arsenal or weaponry is Kogetsu, Whirlwind, Shield, and then the subversion is Viper, Escudo, Shield, and Bagworm. We don't really know what the other main trigger is gonna have, but I'm pretty sure Hyusei can't just go with like just 3 out of the 4 filled, you know. Hopefully he changes his mind soon, because I would like to see him add a new style of his fighting. And we all know how strong he is. If you guys been, like I said, been repeating myself, if you've been watching World Trigger for a long time or you read the manga, you understand how terrifying Hyusei is in terms of just swordsmanship. He is at least on to par against one guy, except he can't beat Tachikawa. That guy's a whole different level. That much is considered. That aside, he pretty much decides to like train with Kugayuma for a bit before Kugayuma and Chika's gonna go off somewhere else. As for Osamu, he ends up having to like get a room which actually belonged to Kido-san. And we all know who Kido is. He is currently working at Border and he hates neighbors. But we get to know a little bit more of his backstory in this episode right here, you know? Because Osamu will later on find a picture that is actually the 19 original members of Border, you know? And of course, like we get to know that originally Border that Tamaoka is like at right now, that was actually the original Border's headquarters, you know, the one that Tamaoka is occupying right now. Sorry for being confusing. That was actually originally the original Border's headquarters before they built a new one and moved into a new one. And the 19 original members that was part of the original Border headquarters squad, you know, that kind of thing, 10 of them died or something. Most of them, I believe, got turned to black triggers, I believe, from what I understand or heard, you know, after what happened to them. And we get to know the symbol of what the Border used to have, you know, because there were 3 top circles, you know. That means 3 allied neighborhood nations. And then the bottom large circle is their world, Earth. And the Border is what lies between them. And we get to know more about the situation and story about Kido, you know. What happened to the 10 of the 19 members that died was like there was a war that happened 5 years ago, you know. And they decided to help the neighborhood allies or something because it was part of their oath, part of their like saying their promise, you know. But because of that war, they lost 10 of the 9 original members that used to be part of this original faction of Border, you know? Like, originally, Border's true purpose was to actually be friendly and have good allies with neighbors. But now, after what happened 5 years ago, Kido, he ended up having a change of like a mindset after maybe going through that certain tragedy, and the reason why he is what he is because of what happened. Not to mention, he says all neighbors must be killed, and that's the reason how he recruited a lot of people. And Yuri explains to Osamu that we are just getting in the way. We couldn't find, and we don't disagree on everything, but we ally and help each other out when the time presents itself, that kind of thing. But that aside, it's because of Kito's efforts is the reason why they were able to avoid such tragedy that happened 5 years ago. If you guys remember, in the first season of World Trigger, we had a big invasion in that arc, and I thought that was one of the crazy action-oriented war arcs I haven't seen so far. But yeah, one of the few action arcs that I've enjoyed. I don't remember much about it, but it was really, really tense and crazy. It got my seat and my butt shaking so bad that I thought I was gonna lose it and faint out. But yeah. Anyways, yeah. In other words, without a lot of confusion, Kito used to be part of Tamaoka's branch and part of the original goal of Border's true original purpose. And Tamaoka is continuing that original tradition, maybe because they don't want to lose hope, or they still believe they can be friendly with neighbors and all that, that kind of thing. Kito used to be part of that, but after that tragedy of a big war that happened 5 years ago that they became a part of, 19 of the original members lost 10 of them. Some of them became Black Triggers from what I was told in this episode. Addition to that, one of them possibly was traumatized and just went off to become an ordinary citizen and just disappeared. We don't really know where she's at right now, but I guess she gave up, whatever the case may be. And as the episode continues on in its own way, yeah, I mean, pretty crazy here and there, and Kito used to be part of Tamaoka, but like I said, and everything else all considered, guess something happened to him 5 years ago in that war, and he had to change things up in order to maybe not to have that tragedy repeat again. Because when it comes to neighbors, lately, some neighbors, or at least a little of them, have been antagonists so far. They caused a lot of grief and tragedy on those who lost their parents, lost their homes, lost their original lives that they would have enjoyed to that point, but that kind of thing. That aside, yeah, Konami ends up showing up and finds embarrassment of this picture and decides to attack Osamu for finding that embarrassing picture whatsoever, And I thought it was pretty funny here and there. But that aside, we get to see a scene with after the story here and there, we get to see Hyusei and freaking Kugayuma had their matches, and it was 8-12. So pretty much Kugayuma was ahead of Hyusei in terms of combat ability and possibly unpredictability and creativeness, that kind of thing. And we had to it that Kugayuma and Chika decide to go to border headquarters to train their abilities, Chika with sniping, and Kugayuma, he has an appointment with two guys, which is Kaguya and Murakami Ko, which apparently was really funny and cool because they go about time you showed up, and then Kugayuma's made a playful tone saying, you know what, I'll play with you guys for now, that kind of thing. And Kaguya was like, hey, that's what I'm supposed to be saying, doofus, bokeh. I'm thinking in my mind, oh my gosh, how cute is that? And there's no preview of next episode of the title whatsoever. It's just a little funny scene with Osamu and Kugayuma talking with each other, saying, oh, it's good to see you guys again, Yeah. Anyways, now I could tell you guys about the opening and ending. Ending was pretty cool. It's okay. But the opening was very lovable. And it's at the same time emotional because it's it plays some scenes of the recap of season 1 and season 2. And it's almost like telling you enjoy this while you can, because it's gonna be a while before we can even get another season of World Trigger. And it's kind of so ironic that I missed this series and I loved it so much back then, and now I'm loving it so much again now. But if you guys have been keeping up and understand what's happening with the manga author World Trigger, things are not looking so great. So I hope the author will still be doing okay and find a way to maybe finish the series, even though it may take a while. But man, yeah. Anyways, this episode, without a lot of detail, we get introduction to two new characters, Yuri and Michael. Michael helps Hyusei with the additions to his triggers, and including the sub trigger. Hyusei and Kugayuma train with each other, and then Osamu moves into Tamaoka's headquarter branch, since like you know, it's closer to headquarters and all that, and change of plans and everything else. And we get to know about Kido-san, who apparently was part of Tamaoka until 5 years ago in that war, like I told you, with a lot of confusion. He ended up having to change his ways, and because of his own efforts, they managed to have the right powerful members to fight off that last invasion in the first season. Because I think it must be because of that war that happened 5 years ago is the reason why Kido must have changed. Maybe because he doesn't want that tragedy to repeat again, or maybe he was so traumatized, or he just thinks that all neighbors are enemies now, because after that tragic moment, people lost their homes and normal lives. Guess he turned maybe into a cold guy for a reason, because maybe so much could have been prevented that day if they worked harder, or if they had more members, because they didn't have a lot of members back then, I'm pretty sure, because 5 years ago, that was a lot of damage, you know? And now, like, where they're at, they had the right amount of members to fight off the recent invasion that happened in the first season, and now in the second season, you know? So, understandable, pretty cool, but whatever the case may be. So, until then, people, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm Alpha Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toot-toot!